2002 Chevrolet Trailblazer replacing power steering pump and all power steering pressure lines. Why do you replace power steering pressure lines on this vehicle? It appears because they are made of cheap Chinese steel and they rust through, and it's a very high pressure hydraulic system, so it's not something that you want to rust out and be compromised. It will fail, and you will be getting your real workout trying to steer your vehicle. So there's the old lines. I had to cut them in one place to get them off. I'll show you why. Access to the power steering pump itself is the first step. It's not that terrible. Right here was the windshield washer reservoir, the container for the fluid, and above that is the air box. So all that has to come out, and then you have access to where, see, there's 3 bolt holes right there. That's where the power steering pump was. Disconnect the return line and the supply line, which has already been done. I should have videoed all this beforehand, because that's quite a challenge. So once that's all disconnected, well, I'm sorry, before that you have to bleed the system. So turkey based all the fluid out, move the rack back and forth, turn the steering wheel back and forth without the engine running. It pumps all the fluid back up into the reservoir. You get out as much as you can so you don't have a big mess. Disconnect the belt and remove the lines, then pull the power steering pump, which you need a pulley puller. So you can pull off the old pulley. By the way, you access those bolt holes through the holes in the pulley. That's the best way to do that. And then on the bench, you can remove the power steering pulley, pump pulley, and save the pulley for the new one, and save the cap for the new one. Since the new one does not come with a cap, do not throw that away. The lines themselves were located in the most precarious of all places. They went down. You can see that little clip right there, across the front cross member into a place where you cannot really access with your fingers. You got to get creative. I'll show you an example of that right here. You know, Papa told me he could have done this, he just didn't have the right tools.
Bullshit.
Watch your language, young man. Along the bottom, supply line is on top here. I've removed this clip and remounted it to the face of the frame rail because, as you could see, it was impossible to get to before, but lines go into the bottom of the radiator, where it's, it's just meant to stay cool. So this comes from the rack, and this goes back to the power steering reservoir here. And then, of course, the supply line comes from the rack to the power steering reservoir up here. We managed to, I don't know how we did it, but we managed to route everything back to factory original position. Well, I've fished in the new supply line that goes from the passenger side hole to the actual pump itself. This little corner that was cut off on the inside fender well and the plastic cutback ended up being quite a lifesaver, because I was able to fish in the hard section of the line, bend over right here. Now it's not quite through all the way. I wanted to start filming before I finished so you could see the process, but you can actually take that rubber hose section that goes down to the motor. There it is. I've got it underneath all the cables. I have taken loose that mounting bolt there on that cable for that harness support, and with a little bit of finessing and care, I can finish. See, there's my end there. I can finish pulling this through and manipulating carefully, little by little, inch by inch, piece by piece. I can get this whole sucker underneath of everything with a lot less time. Just a little more wrestling, but yeah, that's going to work out just fine. And both lines have to go through that way. The other one's shorter; it might be a little easier. But yeah, that's a solution. All right, you can see the angle that Bradley is laying out of the vehicle. This is the only way of doing this. We got one hand that goes up in front of the axle and up over top, and you can see what you're doing from underneath, can't you, Bradley? You got a visual on it?
You got to get up towards the front of the car instead of at that side angle that we were doing it at.
Right. And
you got to put this arm underneath the frame right here, and then this has to go back towards the actual power steering line. Then you can get to the connector through here.
There you go. I see. I got a good visual on your fingers. And then the black clip goes on to put those two lines together.
Yeah, that's right.
And now they're happy, right? They're happy together.
Yep.
Everything's clean. Now here come the seals.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you one at a time, okay?
Okay.
Crucial. I'll try to get another shot from the top. Here's the other one.
Okay.
And I've got the bolt in my hand.
Okay. Let me just
Take your time. Don't drop anything. We've got plenty of hours in looking around in the engine compartment for dropped tiny items. And boy, let me tell you, that's a real nightmare. Looks like you're getting somewhere, boss. Looks like you're getting somewhere.
Yeah, just break the seal or something.
It's okay. You're gonna feel the seal push.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what gives it the seal. You feel it push and squish, and then the tip of the hose, the hard line, will blow through that flapper.
Return line doesn't want to go through.
Take your time.
There we go.
You on?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going for the bolt.
We can start a little bit, but not enough, so.
Use a socket and extension. Get the bolt started. Without losing your seal.
Losing it or moving it?
Losing it, just don't lose it.
Oh, no. They've been pushed through.
And make sure you get those threads started right. If it feels snug at the beginning, it's going to be cross-thread. If you can get it down deep enough, it's wise to unscrew it to seat that first thread before moving forward. You know what I mean? Like pushing forward and going in the reverse direction. You feel that little thread snap in.
Okay, I think we're good.
Okay, I'm going to hand you the socket wrench. You got it? After all, you're ahead of me.
Okay.
So, mechanic, be aware, if you've got fat arms and fat fingers, you're not going to get in here to do this. I mean, you probably could, but you'd probably have to take off the drive axle from the transfer case. Maybe that would give you a little more room. Take your time. And if you're short-tempered and easily frustrated, this is not the job for you either. What do you think, Brad?
Not at all.
This is a job for patience and time. For God's sake, I hope these seals hold. So right now we've got Bradley working the wheel. The key is in the on, accessory on position. Not started, just on accessories, and that gives us the freedom to move the rack back and forth, maxed out all the way. All the bubbles like to hide down the end, so we keep turning these wheels back and forth, and bubbles are coming up inside the reservoir. You can hear them, you can see them, and we're just going to keep working that until we don't hear or see any more bubbles. We've checked all the fittings, all the connections, everything's dry. You don't want to add too much fluid in case you got a bad connection. Just add a little bit at a time. So if you do have a blowout somewhere, you don't have to worry about cleaning up quarts of fluid. You can just have a small mess versus a big mess. And anyway, this is just what we're doing. Well, the test drive is finished. The vehicle's running fine. It steers just great, and I hope this video saves somebody out there a lot of time, because Lord knows we wish we would have had it when we started. thanks to my slightly thinner compadre over here, able to access these places. It didn't turn out too bad in the end. I'm a novice mechanic, and Bradley's my novice apprentice. Thank you, Bradley, again for your help. And
problem.
we've got maybe 16 hours in this, so hopefully you can do better than us. Anyway, stay patient and good luck out there.